This program is proudly brought to you by Puma Energy and proudly supported by BSB, official sponsor of the 2015 Pacific Games, and New Guinea, exclusive carrier for the 2015 Pacific Games, and Coral Sea Hotels, preferred accommodation provider of the 2015 Pacific Games. Welcome to Road to Port Moresby 2015. Today marks 156 days till the biggest sporting event hits the shores of Port Moresby. While much of the work can be seen with the construction of venues, tonight we highlight other elements of Team PNG's preparations. On tonight's episode, the recently graduated tennis star Abigail Apisah from the US joins us and gives us an insight into her amateur days as a kid playing tennis. We also catch up with Team PNG at the Athletes Forum held recently in Port Moresby, and we highlight the recent announcement on the government's gold medal incentive. In this first segment, we chat with the Apisah family as they speak of their daughter Abigail being ever so talented since her childhood. Abigail won the Sportswoman of the Year award in 2013 and is Papua New Guinea's best chance at winning gold in tennis at the Pacific Games. Abigail Apisah was born on the 13th of July 1992 in Port Moresby. She comes from a mixed parentage of Hula and Morobe. Daughter of Kuala Apisah and Veranagi Tere, she has two older brothers, Patrick and Lawrence, and a sister Marsha, who is also on the Georgia State tennis team.
I remember when she was small, she never wanted to do tennis, or how do you say it, lazy? She doesn't want to get up. Didn't want to get up for tennis early, Saturday mornings when we go to tennis, and well, that's how young age, and she didn't want to get up too early in the morning to get to tennis. And she no choice, we just got to bring her along. And then they used to climb up the umpire stands, so you'd be looking for them, crawling along the court, and then next minute they'd be up on the stands. And that's how the interest started. And then when they started picking up tennis rackets, it was, without us teaching them how to hit balls, naturally they picked it up from there. So Abby was, one of those rare kids, lazy at start, but, once you put a mind into it.
Growing up, Abigail was just like every other kid, tagging along with mum and dad to the training courts. It was her father, Kuala Apisah, who inspired her to take up a career in sports.
I've been playing for a really long time, and playing in Fiji, traveling, and then to Australia, and then just finished up in America. Over the years, I've learned a lot of things that helped influence the growth of my tennis and my game. But really, in the last 3-4 years while I was in college, one of the biggest things I learned was that tennis is really a mental sport. So that's one of the huge aspects that I've been working on in the last couple of years.
Abigail took up tennis at a very early age, with her parents being her coach. They were and are her backbone in every step of her tennis career. Right from the age of 11 to 13, they played a major role in her life. She later moved to Fiji to represent Papua New Guinea at the age of 11 and to study at a tennis academy. She then relocated to Australia, where she lived before moving to study in Georgia 2 years ago. Abigail says her family is the one thing that keeps her so motivated and focused, and she always keeps in mind how much her parents have done for her, and where she is today is solely because of them.
They've been unbelievably supportive. They've sacrificed so much, and you know, as a kid growing up, I never realized how much like they've had to do or sacrifice to get us, me and my siblings, and the other kids, as you can see, playing. But I mean, sometimes it's a little weird going places with my parents who are also my coaches, manager, whatever, you name it. But at the end of the day, they're just my parents. To me, they're just my parents. And when we're on the court, that's a different story too. They're my coaches.
Outside of her tennis career, Abigail is busy with her studies. The Pacific Games will be a big event and she is excited and looking forward to competing on home soil with her family by her side.
You mentioned it, it's got me a little excited. But no, like you said, it's really going to be the first time to play competitively at home. Usually, like when I was growing up, when I'm just training at the courts, it's just me, my parents, and all the other kids. Usually my family wouldn't really come down to watch her. So now I'm going to be having my relatives from Leh and Hula and everywhere coming down to support. So I mean, it's going to really give me a big boost. It's going to be really exciting for them to watch me.
Father Abigail Apisah is proud of his daughter, saying Abigail has been a great sibling to her brothers and sister and has made it far in her career. He's very excited about her participation in the Pacific Games this year as he stands as a very proud father.
Be emotional, you know, all his hard work, not only the coaches here, but you know, who she worked with in her life up to now. We will all be very, very proud of her. You know, the PG coach Dan, and then Coach Phil Shanahan, and her GSU coach in the States. We'll be, and the family will be here definitely, and of course, you know, the hard work pays off, you know. So hopefully she'll do us proud. Started in Samoa when we first met there. She went over and, you know, I was as the coach then and sitting down on the side, and she started crying when bad call. And that was the, you know, you get this feeling as a coach, but as a father, totally different. But you know, as a coach, you just got to keep your face and let it go. And then it ended in New Caledonia 2011, and that was a highlight of her, you know, how good she is. And she beat the girl who beat her in Samoa 4 years earlier. And that was a gold medal with her sister Marcia. So PNG 2015, of course, we're looking at gold medal.
See you all at the Pacific Games.
The games are drawing closer and Team PNG is now at the crucial stages of preparations. The Athletes Forum and Coaching Conference that was held recently in Port Moresby gave athletes and the coaching staff as well as team managers an insight into the operations for the duration of the games. In this segment, Team PNG Chef de Mission Richard Kassman urges athletes to be the best on and off the field. It is now 156 days till Port Moresby plays host to the 15th Pacific Games and houses over 4,000 athletes and officials. While a lot of focus has been put into the development of sporting infrastructure, the Papua New Guinea Olympic Committee is investing on another important aspect of sports, the people and in particular the athletes, coaches and managers. The Coaches and Managers Workshop and Athletes Forum held recently in Port Moresby brought to stance the reality of the games being held on home soil. While much of the emphasis is on ensuring Team PNG does well and recites the victorious outcome of 1991, the welfare and hospitality of athletes is another that is of significant importance.
Specifically, it does athlete services, essentially, it kind of ties into my role on the Athletes Commission as well. My major objective is to look at the welfare of the athletes. So that's prior to the event and also during the event as well. So prior to the event, it's about sharing information with athletes. So I do have a little bit of admin work now. So I might get Andy to flash up a sheet that was shared with the coaches and managers last night, and it's about the selection process. Okay, so I mentioned this morning that things are beginning to become real and beginning to crystallize. So up here are some dates in respect to selection. Okay, so February 27th, this is the date that sports will announce their final squads. So that's final team plus reserve. So that's not far away. You know, everyone's thinking July 4th it starts, but team selection is happening just around the corner in a couple of weeks. Okay, so you need to be ready for that. March 6th, the sports are going to share their final squad documentation with the Olympic Committee for the Justification Committee to review. So what the Justification Committee does is it looks at your team management, and we've already gone through that process. I sit on that committee as well. So go through the process of looking at the nominations for coaches, managers, assistant coaches, and as a group, along with our technical team, so that's Aaron Alsop and Mr. Castleman, as well as Andy, they put forward recommendations about who your coaches should be. The Justification Committee considers that, and then appoints those coaches and managers for Team PNG and your sport. They're going to do that exactly the same process for athletes as well. So in a couple of weeks, squads are going to be putting squad lists forward, and they're going to have your results from the High Performance Centre, your attendances at training, and the group is going to sit down and decide.
The PNG Sports Anti-Doping Organization is fully established. We hope to have a pool of athletes, and that's where we will need you as athlete support personnel to support your athletes by providing their whereabouts, because they can be tested anywhere and anytime, okay? Even though they are on holidays and we are asked to go and test your athletes, we have to go and test them, and they have to abide and cooperate with us. The fifth one is tampering, okay? Tampering with any part of the doping control process, like, for example, after notification during the drug testing process, you assist your athlete to do something that is abnormal, and if you are caught doing that, you can actually be penalized for that. Okay, the sixth one is actually possession of a prohibited substance. Okay, if you have in your possession a substance that is banned or a prohibited substance, that is also an anti-doping rule violation. Okay, and also trafficking. Okay, if you are trafficking, if you are a drug trafficker, that is also an anti-doping rule violation. The two new ones that have just come in are complicity. Okay, complicity and prohibited association, and they have been in effect since the 1st of January this year. Okay, complicity covers a wide range of acts, which include assisting, encouraging, or aiding your athletes to take prohibited substances or prohibited drugs. And then prohibited association is if your athlete or if you are associated with someone who is subject to an anti-doping, what should I say? An anti-doping, somebody who has been found to have returned a positive sample or a positive test, okay? And you associate yourself with that person, you could also be penalized for doping, or you are said to be doping. So these are basically the 10 anti-doping rule violations that help us define what doping is. It's not just finding a prohibited substance in a sample. No, it includes all those areas that I've just discussed.
Mark Brown and Gary Johnston from Sports Medicine Australia, alongside the HPTC officials Aaron Alsop, spoke of both the conveniences and inconveniences of sports enhancement drugs and indulging in the right medication. On health and hygiene, Team PNG Chef de Mission Richard Kassman urged athletes to be more disciplined in the way they act, behave and carry themselves.
We want to be the best prepared games, and if I do my job, that will allow you and your coaches to focus on your preparation. So we've got a very, very good, very skillful team of people there.
The coaching conference, however, was also a great opportunity for all coaching staff and managers to prepare for the games. Further to Richard Kassman's remarks on upholding the right image for Team PNG, he said the things taken away from this conference will no doubt prove very valuable and useful to the team as they prepare for the Pacific Games. Kassman and Minister Chichenko also thanked the coaches and team managers as much of their work goes unrecognized. The coaches have been the backbone of sports for a long time. In recent years, the coaching staff haven't had the opportunity to receive such high-level training. However, with the emphasis surrounded on the Pacific Games, the High Performance Division under the PNG Olympic Committee have plans to provide more of such training in various other fields in sport, including sports medicine and psychology, among others. While many of the sporting codes are to finalize their teams for the Pacific Games, athletes are on track with preparations and are looking forward to July. Team PNG athletes competing in the Pacific Games will receive 20,000 kina upon winning a gold medal. The incentive is initiated by the PNG government in partnership with the PNG Olympic Committee. In this final segment, Sports Minister Justin Chichenko stresses on the importance of giving prominence to hardworking athletes. The NEC made the decision after a confrontation with the PNG Olympic Committee to reward athletes who win gold in the Pacific Games. A 5.7 million kina has been set aside as a gold medal incentive. Sports Minister Justin Chichenko, while making the announcement today, stressed on the importance of giving prominence to hardworking athletes.
If an athlete wins 3 gold medals in weightlifting in the different classes that they're doing, they get 20,000 each for each gold medal that they receive. Those that will be striving for getting 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 golds, they can earn themselves some good incentive money that can set them up for their future careers in sport. With the PNG Olympic Committee, they will work out how the funds are sorted out, but yes, they'll go directly to the athletes on the understanding that it's going to be used for the right reasons, not just to run away and have a holiday and come back totally useless. The whole idea is the money's there as an incentive to take their careers themselves to the next level.
And we did set the precedent after Wallace and Fortuna in 2013, and the government entrusted that money to the Papua New Guinea Olympic Committee, and we issued the incentives to individual athletes. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's the individual athlete that will earn that gold medal, and that's their incentive.
Athletes in team sports will also be rewarded the same amount, just like the athletes in the individual sports, but more the chances of winning gold in individual sports, the amount doubles. The primary focus is to increase the performance of the athletes. Team PNG Chef de Mission Richard Kassman says this is an unprecedented gesture from the government and urged the athletes not to underscore their performances and start aiming high.
Minister, it's rare that in a sporting career athletes get to perform at the Pacific Games at home. Last time in 1991, that was 20 years ago. So it's a real privilege for Team PNG and our individual athletes to be able to compete at home in front of our families, in front of our parents, in front of our clan and our villages and our country. So this is very, very important for individual athletes and will be a milestone in their careers. The incentive that the government has kindly provided will really help our athletes as they focus on their performance. And as Sir John rightfully mentioned, it is about our performance on the field. It is about our performance on the day. And that continues to be the dream and the aspiration of all our athletes, to perform at their best and to compete at the best, and the focus is to win their respective events. And we're very, very thankful for the government for that. Papua New Guinean athletes, and like athletes around the world, sacrifice quite a lot. Many put their education on hold. Many put their jobs and their professional careers on hold in order to follow success and follow their dream to represent their country and to achieve medals and recognition at the highest level.
Team PNG, with the home ground advantage, has more than 800 athletes and officials preparing with the gold at home game.
Grateful to the government for recognizing sports as a vehicle to use for national unity and pride, and through sports we have achieved that on many occasions, and we aim to achieve that again. And I think that through the Minister, the power of sports is now evident nationwide in whatever fields, whether individual sports and their achievements, or as Team PNG when we travel overseas. So I'd like to thank the Minister for his great support of sports, not only the 28 sports, but I think we have up to 40 sports that are affiliated to the Olympic Committee. Some Olympic sports, others non-Olympic, but thanks, Minister, for that legacy that you are going to leave behind with the infrastructure and the support services that have been created with the assistance of government funding for the games at large. And so, as you can see from whatever is happening, it's been through the efforts of the Minister with the funding, the Games Authority, the Games Organizing Committee, sports, the Olympic Committee as the Sports Foundation as one team moving forward. I'd also like to thank the Minister for all the efforts that he's been able to initiate and carry through to implementation stage, including the various incentive schemes. And you've heard about the mini games as well as the Commonwealth Games, and now it's over 5 million kina for the Pacific Games, and again, it's unprecedented funding that we've now received. So it's a fantastic announcement through the Minister today for that incentive, and I'm sure that each of the athletes must focus on the gold medal. Minister, the Olympic Committee is most grateful for all the assistance, both within the sphere of games and outside of the games that you've been giving us since you took office. So thanks very much.
Most of the athletes have put their education on hold to follow success in their sporting career and be part of the sporting revolution in Papua New Guinea. Thanks for joining me tonight. In the next episode of Road to Port Moresby 2015, we bring to you more updates on Team PNG's readiness for the Games as we travel to Goroka for the National Boxing Trials. Join me same time, same place next fortnight. It's good night and have a pleasant evening. program was proudly brought to you by Puma Energy and proudly supported by BSB, official sponsor of the 2015 Pacific Games, and New Guinea, exclusive carrier for the 2015 Pacific Games, and Coral Sea Hotels, preferred accommodation provider of the 2015 Pacific Games.